In this video, we're going to be reacting to a video from Young Don and Ruslan about Young Don's immigration history. He is a YouTuber that has, two pretty big channels. And, as far as, people's immigration stories, it's always interesting to hear, some people's it's always a little different. Maybe there's, like a specific kind of immigration law that apply to these people. And it's always interesting to hear. So I'm going to pull it up and then we're just going to be hearing a little bit more about his journey here into the US.
Very, very quickly, American basketball is very different from Jamaican basketball. Really? Yeah. Okay. Hold on. So we got back. What led you to? How did you guys immigrate here? Because I don't know. Is Jamaica a colony, a former colony, or is it an independent nation? So it was once a colony of Britain. Britain. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's a good question. Okay, that Jamaica got their independence granted, in 1962 from Britain. Yeah, it's a Wikipedia, Google search, but for this purpose, still helpful.
Father's side. She became an American citizen. Colony, a former colony, or is it an independent nation? So it was once a colony of Britain. Britain. Yeah. Okay, so then is it because your stepdad at this point got a job? Like, how did you guys come over? So my mom and stepfather are still in Jamaica actually. So it was my grandmother on my father's side. She became an American citizen.
Okay, so the grandmother became a US citizen maybe like 1960s, 1940s. I know the laws were different back in the day. I mean, immigration laws have changed. Yeah, I believe, the Immigration Nationality Act, as we know it more so today, came into effect like in the 50s. So, as far as how the laws were before in the 40s or, during that time, uh, a totally different system, but I imagine a lot easier than we have it today.
Listen, I mean, I haven't been given the details on that process yet. Well,
And as far as what I would say with that, like if you want to get, the information, Young Don, the way you can do it is you can do a FOIA. I have another video on my channel that discusses how to do the FOIA, but it's it's a pretty straightforward process. You just fill out a form. You request your immigration history. If it's for your parent or grandparent, if they're still alive, they can sign it and request it. And FOIA just stands for Freedom of Information Act requests. You can request your records from immigration just to see like exactly what went on. And it's interesting just to see, at least legally. For maybe other people, it's just like a whole bunch of papers, but legally, it's interesting just to see exactly what went on. And that's what I would recommend if you want to see more of what happened. Legally, I recommend the FOIA.
What would have happened 25, 30 years ago? I imagine the process is probably similar still. Yeah. You had family, children that were living there. Yeah. You know how a lot of people either somewhere in my family tree, someone moved to America when moving to America was fairly easy and simple and straightforward. Yeah. Or
And yeah, I mean, that happens a lot. Usually maybe someone is able to get a green card or some sort of lawful status, and then they petition for their family, because why are they going to leave their family in another country? I know there's some people that do that, but for most people, if you come here, you're going to want to bring your wife, you're going to want to bring your husband, you're going to want to bring your kids. I mean, you're going to bring your family, and then eventually, you're going to think about perhaps, can I request for my parents to come, right? And just at the moment how it is, in order for a child to petition for their parents, the child has to be a US citizen over the age of 21. So the way it would work here, like let's say someone petitioned for someone, like someone became a resident, and they'd have to wait 5 years before they request their US citizenship. Generally, if it's by marriage, then 3 years, but generally 5 years. And then once they become a citizen, then they can request their parent, right?
or someone in my bloodline moved here illegally, married somebody, got citizenship, and then the domino effect of filing for your children, and eventually that trickled down to me. So when you
Yeah, and as far as that goes, like on the family preference, I mean, yeah, I'd say that's pretty much how it goes. Like for the visa bulletin board, it does discuss the different categories. If you're an immediate relative, the visa bulletin does not apply to you, and you're an immediate relative. If you're the spouse of a U.S. citizen, if you are, the child under the age of 21 of a US citizen, or you are the parent of a US citizen. Those three categories make you an immediate relative and not subject to the visa bulletin. And pretty much What this is for, it's just like let's say young Don is a legal permanent resident and wants to petition for his wife. If he's a legal permanent resident, then he has to look at this category, the second preference category, spouses and children of residents, and then based on this just tells you like how long these cases are taking, right? So if you are the spouse of a legal permanent resident, priority dates are current. If you are the unmarried son, you're over the age of you're an unmarried son or daughter of a US citizen under the age of 21, this is the processing time it's taking. So like let's say you want a petition for your child that's in Mexico, this is how long it's going to take. November, they're processing cases from November 2000. So basically, it's just meaning it's going to take like 23 years for them to have an interview to come here. India, Philippines, China, and then every other country. So you just have to look at the category and then see how long it's going to take. And that determines whether it might make sense to apply, how long it's going to take, but that's how it goes.
You're growing up in Jamaica, you guys are middle class, upper middle class, lower middle class. What's like? I don't even know what we were because my parents did everything they could to give us.
Yeah, I mean, so at least in his case, like we don't have the specifics. I mean, maybe a FOIA could be requested, like in the interest of, like the public. I don't know whether it'd be approved, but I mean, there's FOIAs, like if it's helpful for some reason. I know there's this one person on Twitter that does a FOIA, maybe not be the exact FOIA, but basically she looks at like the immigration history for senators, people that are anti-immigration. She looks at their immigration history and sees exactly what happens. And it's really interesting because, for some of these people that are really anti-immigration, you look at their history and the things that these people that are really anti-immigration are saying would have precluded, their great grandfather, great grandmother from becoming residents of the US. And I'll try to post a link down below, but it's really fascinating. And I mean, I just bring that up here just because, as far as Young Don's case, I mean, more or less, there was some sort of family petitions that went on, at least for him, either his parents or his great grandparents, someone got the citizenship, residency, and then it went down to, his parents or stepfather, and then it went down to him. So someone was able to get some sort of lawful status through family petition, and then that's why he is here now. And I believe he's a citizen. But yeah, it's always just interesting, seeing exactly how you came to be that you're here. For some people, amnesty, the immigration reform in the 1980s. Other people, like the Hmong people, it's a really fascinating history as well for them. Bittersweet as well. But yeah, hopefully you learned something from this video. If you found it helpful, please let me know by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. It really helps show this video to other people that need to watch this and can find this informational, entertaining, and yeah, YouTube is recommending other videos over here that YouTube believes you will find interesting. So you can watch that over here. God bless. Have a great one.